all of the songs are the same. Every song I've written is the same. And you know what I would say to you if you said that to me? I would say, well, then you need to write that song.
Hasn't hurt Meghan Trainor. Meghan Trainor, but
Yes, it did. Blue Dot Fever. Wait, why did I just become Chris Rock?
let me fix it. Welcome to week 4.
Well, then she was like, you want to kick us off? You should have kicked us off. Okay,
No,
so
I
welcome
just-
to week 4. Welcome to week 4. How was your week? How was your week? Did you get your pages done every day?
I skipped one day. And you know what? Maybe that'll be my thing, that I always give myself one day where I'm like, you know what? I'm sleeping in. Because my days are so long right now in order to get my pages done, go to the gym, start my work day. I've had some days recently that I started at my work day started at 8 a.m. and I was just like, there's no way I'm going to do it. So I gave myself one day off. Did you do your morning pages every day this week?
I did. I'm obsessed with these pages, but I will say, just to reflect on you giving yourself permission, if I dare I say, to not do. You said something else about like not filling out the task. I think it was like week 2. You were like, why don't you just like do the tasks as part of your pages? And I was like, oh,
that's
duh.
what I do. Yeah.
Like you are giving yourself a lot of permission and grace to just do it as you want to do it. And I'm so like, oh, it has to be done because we said we're doing it. No, you're actually doing it. You know what I mean?
And you know what? There was something in week 4 that I felt like really kind of spoke to where I was at. It was, here we go. As we gain or regain our creative identity, we lose the false sense we were sustaining. The loss of this false self can feel traumatic. I don't know who I am anymore. I don't recognize me. I was having a lot of that this week where I was like, God, I just don't even know what I'm doing. These fucking pages. And so, there was also this moment of one of the clearest signals that something healthy is afoot is the impulse to weed out, sort through, and discard old clothes, papers, and belongings. Delon, I threw out so much shit this week.
Me too. I really need to go through this office, but I brought 2 bags to the clothing kind of dispensers for the Red Cross. That was really therapeutic to go, you know what? Yeah, stuff that I was like, oh, I want to hold on. I'm like, Dylan, you haven't worn this since you left New York City.
Child, the amount of things where I was like, this is a farce. I have been lying to myself and saying someday I'm going to wear this or someday I'm going to fit into it. And some of it's just things that like just don't fit where I'm at in my life anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't dress like this. I don't want this thing. Or it was a gift, or it just, again, it like reminds me of a specific time in my life. And I'm just like, I'm just not that person anymore. And it was really therapeutic to get rid of stuff. What was your artist date this week?
So it's so funny. It's kind of contradicted the reading deprivation thing because I went to a used bookstore and I bought like 7 plays and 2 books. I spent like $70 in this used bookstore. And then I just sat down and started reading one of the books. It's actually adjacent to this thing I'm doing in the spring, this project I'm working on in the spring. I was really inspired by it. And sidebar, my sister and I've talked about it on the pod, are doing this buddy read together. We're reading these fantasy books, and she actually does what's called a tandem read, which means I've never heard of this class. If you haven't heard of this, you listen to the book while reading it, which is a different experience. So I started doing a tandem read with this book. So I failed on the reading deprivation, but
you're like, I did extra reading. I read and listened to it. Take that, Julia.
But it was really great to be in a used bookstore. I've never been to a used bookstore. I do feel like it wasn't as arty as I wanted to be, but it was to the point about, you skipped pages for a day. I get to do what I want to do, right? Yeah. It doesn't have to be me drawing something, Yes. What was your artist date for the week?
I took myself to a movie by myself. I went and saw I Love Boosters.
I want to talk about that film. You like it?
Do you want to do that next week?
Yeah.
Should we do that for Let Me Fix It? Yeah. I think I liked it in theory and not in practice.
I hear that.
But I will say what I did get out of it is I liked how like whimsical it was, and like, and that it did have a message, but it also like didn't take itself too seriously. And I
Mm,
left the theater thinking like, I gotta write this fucking feature. I just gotta fucking do it. Like,
mm,
and it's no shade to Boots Riley. I don't know him personally. Like, we follow each other on social, and all of this stuff is like kind of weird and out of the box and messagey. But at the same time, it's like, it is a deep sense of like belief in yourself, but also vulnerability to just make something really fucking weird.
mm.
I watched that and I was like, how the hell did he pitch this? How did he explain to people like what this was going to be? And then
Yeah.
here I am sitting on this idea. I've got the outline, I've got like a few scenes written, but like I just keep setting up obstacles for myself as to why I'm not
Mm.
doing it. And like ultimately at some point you just have to be bold enough to be like, fuck it, I'm just going to do it.
It's
And like that's what I got out of it, where I was just like, this is a crazy movie and like weird shit is happening in every single scene. And while it's not my thing, like he fucking did it. He made the
yeah.
movie, you know?
Listen, if being John Malkovich can exist, why can't I Love Boosters, right?
Yes, exactly. And,
Be-
and to that end, like we kind of talked about this when we talked about Jaden Smith. Like I'm here for Black people making weird shit that maybe doesn't speak to me. And I'm
yeah.
just like happy that they got the ability to do it, because like white creatives get to make all sorts of shit that I don't agree with and I
Right.
don't understand and I think is mediocre. So like, why not us?
Right. Right. Make more room for all of us, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I did you get all the tasks done, or how did you fare there?
I didn't get all of the tasks done. I never get them done all week. But I did like, go through my closet, which I really liked. I also did the thing of like describing yourself at 80. And I gotta say, like, that was a really emotional process for me. Like just thinking
Mm,
about myself as an older person and like, I don't know. I've been in like a funk, but the pages in this chapter really spoke to me because it was like validating my funk, that
mm,
this is you kind of like shedding the things that are not fruitful to your creative process and like picking up new skills and like creating a new system for yourself. I was really feeling it. And then just like, man, thinking of myself getting older and thinking about my parents and them maybe not
um,
being here and like what kind of world we're going to live in, and like just really thinking about like what's going to fill my cup at 80 years old, and how like a lot of the stuff that I'm wrestling with and like feeling bad about, and feeling this, the thing that I kind of wrestle with, Delon, that you and I talk about a lot, is like this feeling of like, I haven't done enough.
mm,
I haven't lived up to my potential, and I should be further ahead, and I should be doing things that my peers are doing. And I'm not like, that's a thing that I struggle with a lot.
yeah.
And so to think about myself at 80 years old, where I was just like, yeah, I want to be fucking chilling at 80.
Oof.
I don't want to be like, oh, what is Bertha doing? Or like, or, her name is Bertha because she's also 80. But like, you know what I mean? I was like, man, when I'm
Yeah.
80, I don't want to be in the fucking rat race anymore. I want to be
Yeah.
enjoying my life and just like being creative and having friends over and eating good food and traveling and just like chilling. And like, I don't know, it kind of made me feel sad because I was like, man, I don't know that I'm setting myself up right now for that life. Like
Yeah.
right now I'm still like like
I don't, I think it always feels like that. I think it felt like that at 20. It felt like that at 30. For me, it always felt like, I
mm,
don't know. I'm trying to grasp the thing. I do appreciate the 80 thing was really difficult for me too. But it's
yeah.
actually because I wasn't able to think creatively enough to imagine what I want my life to be. I think I wrote like, I'm walking. I was like, I have full facility of my body and my mind, and I did
But
write
that's
like,
real. But that is a real thing to want
I
at
meant
80.
it. I meant it,
Yes.
and I'm looking forward to like, spending time on my balcony and there's a sea
Mm-hmm.
in front of me and like waking
Mm.
up next to my partner. But to your point about like not setting yourself up for those things, I think that is the objective, to go, oh, first of all, think creatively about what it might be, and then are you
What are
doing
you
the
doing right?
necessary things to create
Yes.
that for yourself?
That life does not just magically appear. You have to fucking lay the foundation for that life.
Right.
Because real talk, you know what I don't want to be doing at 80? Working,
Ah!
sitting on Zoom. You know
Ah!
what I mean? Filling out fucking, invoices and
Oh
tracking
my
down money.
God.
Hey, can you pay me? I don't
No,
know.
I want to be overweight in an easy chair with a snack. Okay, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Eating
I
some
would be.
applesauce. I want to have all my teeth.
Please, all my teeth. Please, all my teeth.
Yes.
But I also think the other part of that was the thinking about yourself at 8,
Yeah.
and that was actually more fruitful. I mean, a lot of my comments or writing was about like, hey, it's going to be okay, hey, it all turns out
Mm.
well, because
Yeah.
it's not that my
Yeah.
childhood was terrible, but like just
Yeah.
wasn't the most stable in the world.
Yeah.
And so the idea that I've had a couple of moments, lucid moments as an adult, I think, especially after 40, where I was like, hey man, you did a lot of shit to get here. That's all you had a lot of help, don't get me wrong, but I text
Mm-hmm.
my sisters. I have 2 younger sisters class, and I text them and I was like, yo, we did a lot of shit to get here, and that's
Mm-hmm.
all on us. And like,
Mm-hmm.
none of these people understand who we are as a result of like the bravery, the fucking chutzpah that it
Yeah.
took to get us where we are. So that was really fruitful, despite it being perhaps a little bit sad to
Yeah.
look back and go, man, that little kid who didn't have anyone to really guide him in a solid way. That's sad, but man, did he fucking do it. Like, here I sit, and that made me really
Hmm.
proud.
Yeah, I struggled with the 8-year-old one because it's I don't know if it's because I smoked a lot of weed or what, but
Well,
like there are sections of my childhood that I remember and then like large swaths that are just gone.
same.
Like I remember like I wrote about like who my friends were and like what
Mm,
classes I really liked. Like I was in choir and I loved the choir, and I wrote about like my dog and wearing a uniform, and this girl that I was friends with that I just thought was so cool. And she had like 6 siblings, and she lived in this like really cool, beautiful house. And every time I would go to her house, I felt like I was in the fucking Sound of Music. There was like, and I am Japan, and I am so and so. And I was just like this little only child, like, yo, this girl's life is so fucking cool. And I
mm,
just remember like every time I was there feeling like I was part of this like little crew. Like we were always like getting into shit, and we were always like going on little adventures and stuff, and I was just kind of like with this little ragtag group of siblings. But like outside of that, like I don't remember what my favorite movie was, or like there are all these
yeah.
questions about like what books were you reading? I'm like, I don't know. Like I don't remember those things. Or like what your bedroom looked like. I was like,
Oh
I
God,
don't
that was a
know.
sad one. I
Oh,
mean, no, not like it was just like, I remember it being so much bigger, but when I was comparing it to my apartment now, I was like, oh, that was like, I was living on a twin size bed. It was a
hmm.
tiny, tiny room. I had a lot of clothes because that's where I spent
Hmm.
I started working when I was 14. I spent all my money on clothes because my mom was
Hmm.
like, oh, you want to shop at the Gap? You better get a Gap job. So I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. How did you, there was the prayer. We talk a lot about this being
Woo!
very godly,
Yes.
which is not our bag. But how
Hmm.
did you did you get that task
Yes,
done?
I did.
How
I
how did
did.
you fare with that one? How did that feel?
So class, the prompt is to write your like you look at Julia's version of the artist prayer, and then you're supposed to write your own, and then you're supposed to use it every day for the week. I not that I struggled with it, it just made me emotional. Like cuz it's
Mm,
almost like an affirmation, right?
absolutely.
Where
Hmm.
for me it was a lot about like just reassuring myself that I'm creative and that I'm well loved and I have a full life and I my voice is important, and like man, I'm like genuinely like kind of getting choked up thinking about it because I just the realization that like I need to like heal this part of myself
Hmm.
is like one that's like difficult because I'm
Hmm.
like, I'm successful. I have a good life and I've done a lot of really cool things, but like the realization that I'm still not really fulfilled because there are things that I want to do that I'm afraid to do because I don't feel like I'm good enough, you know?
Yes.
And like,
Yes.
and having to like really um like nurture that part of myself
Hmm.
is painful. It's really
Yeah.
painful. And as I'm doing it, like I again, like this week was really eye-opening because it is like I sit down and I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't I
Hmm.
don't want to look at this part. I want to just be like, okay, I'm done. I'm done. I did 4 weeks. I got enough out of it. I'm
Yeah.
moving on. But like the excavation is so painful that I'm like, I guess I have to keep doing, like, obviously.
That's the reason to do it. That is the
Yeah.
reason to do it. Well, and I would also offer up that, like, God, man, this is going to make you so much more of a three-dimensional human. It's going to allow you to access so many things. You know what's on the other side of that. But like this makes all of it worthwhile. If it wasn't this difficult to do, it wouldn't be worth doing. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I similarly, I feel on paper, I know I'm successful, right? I went to an award show last night where I didn't win an award, but my show won.
Okay. Congratulations.
Yeah, I was nominated though, and that was, I actually was like so proud to just be in that room with a bunch of like theater folk. I didn't even care that I was glad to be nominated, glad to be in that fucking room, and other people in my show won. It's called the Elliot Norton Awards, and I was in the Glass Menagerie last year, and we won a bunch of awards last night, which was really great. But you know, everyone looked at me and they kept saying, "Hey, man, God, you had a great season. Like you work all the time." And I
Yeah, you
do, I
do.
do. I'm very, very fucking grateful.
Yeah, you do.
Well, don't I know it? Don't I know it? Very,
Yeah.
very grateful. But to your point, at this, I like I left New York and my Broadway show ended, and I just was like, do I continue on that hamster wheel? And I know deep down in my soul that wasn't for me.
Yeah.
If a Broadway show comes tomorrow and an audition comes tomorrow, let's go, please,
Yeah.
all day. You know, I got an email before this where they were like, "Hey, do you want to audition for it?" Yes, right. Please
Right.
give it to me. But there's something else I want to say. There's something else I want to do, and like this moment I'm in right now, which is, I think, why I'm so embracing these pages, because I'm finding it. I'm looking for it. I'm like,
Yeah.
please show me what
Yeah.
the next right step is, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but I do feel the same thing. Like, God, there's something more I have to say. There's something more I want to say. I go to my writing and my show and the bravery that requires. I'm scared to do that. I'm scared to say the things that I want to say therein, you know? So
Yeah.
I'm with you wholeheartedly, but I think it's also going, people, I want money. I want money to do the things that I want to do,
Yeah.
and that might take a while, right? But other people have those resources, and I'm looking at them and being like, why not me? Why haven't I been chosen, right?
Yes.
They have struggles of their own. On
Of
the other
course.
side of that, there are a whole bunch of struggles. You know, I think of
Mhm.
like,
And there's a whole bunch of people looking at us and going, I want to do what they're doing.
and like, what is wrong with you?
Why am I not there? They're doing blah blah
Yes.
blah. Every single person is looking up towards the thing that they want and not realizing if you turn around, you've come a long way. And I
Um,
think,
and you know what?
yeah.
You know my adage: capitalism.
Yes.
That's what it is. It's
Yes.
capitalism. That's looking up and looking past and not looking internal. Thank you, Julia Cameron. That's why we're
Yeah.
doing this. You know.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you have any challenges this week?
I wrote some down actually. The reading deprivation thing, I talked about that. So here's a challenge I that I want everyone's help with.
Mm.
So I talked about my artist date going to the movies, but one of the other ones that I planned was I'm in a production of Annie right now, and the theater gave us a sidewalk chalk. And they were like, everyone take one. It's
Oh.
not just for the kids. Everyone take one. I was like, oh my God, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go fucking chalk the sidewalk.
Yeah.
I just didn't have the bravery enough to be a full grown ass man chalking the sidewalk, like writing
Yeah.
on the sidewalk. And I was like, I mean, maybe I'll go out at night.
The
so
Chalk
like
comes out at night. Chalk comes out at
I
night.
get arrested for like,
I mean,
right?
yeah.
In the world we're in.
Do
But
you
I
have a
was like,
parking? Do you have a parking garage at your building?
there's a parking garage. Yeah,
What
there
are
are
you
rats
doing
out
in
there though,
the garage?
girl.
What?
I said there are rats out there though, girl. I guess I could do that. There's like a little area that I can do that in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a park by you? I mean, like, it doesn't have to be directly on the sidewalk. Like, is there a basketball court at the park? You could do something there too.
Oh, maybe I'll do that. Maybe yeah. But
Yeah.
there was an area in my mind by the water. I was like, oh, it'll be really nice to like just sit out there and get dirty, and then like stare at the water
And so
dry.
what is your resistance? You don't want other people to see you doing it, or are you?
It is the surveillance of it all. It's that
Mm.
like I present having it all together. I'm very articulate. I have cogent thoughts,
Mhm. And
Um,
somebody's gonna be like, "That man's having a breakdown. Why he got a piece of chalk?"
like they're walking by, I'm like, what is that beautiful ass man?
They're like, "Somebody called social services. I think something is wrong with him."
Literally. Yeah, no, I couldn't break that barrier.
Mm.
So I'm going to challenge myself in week 5 as we look ahead to do that. But that was really interesting because I would encourage anybody to do that. If you said
Hmm.
that to me, I'd be like, what's wrong with you? And then I
Yeah.
would go, like you just did to me, I would go through some steps to help you get through it or give other suggestions. I'm a
Yeah.
teacher. I do that with my students all the time. Talk about being brave, talking about getting out of your comfort zone. We just talked on the episode to Olivia Johnson 6043, right?
Hmm.
About getting out of her comfort zone because she's an introvert. And yeah, but at the same time, I have those struggles. So this week, I'm
Mm.
going to try to get past that, but it was a big one for me this week.
Wow. Okay.
How about you?
I think I kind of talked about my struggle and
Yeah,
that
you did.
like, I'm also feeling really, really burnt out from work. But I will say on the creative side, whether it's been with my writing, I've written so much new stand up this week. I've written like
Wow.
3 or 4 new bits where I was kind of like really wrestling with a lot of material that I had written last year that I knew was working and just being like, I need to let go of this. Like, not that I
Mm-hmm.
can't tell these jokes anymore, but like I'm using them as a crutch where I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
shows and I should be exploring some of this new stuff that I'm working on, but I'm afraid. And so it's just easier to be like, I know this works, so I'll just do this. So I've
Yeah.
really been pushing myself, even though maybe on that one day I didn't write my pages, like I did sit down and like work on stand up material. And at work I've been like producing a lot and like writing a lot of scripts for briefs and videos and stuff like that. And so I am finding that that is coming a little bit easier. Just day to day I'm feeling really like worn down. And I did read again in this week that that is part of the like shedding. And so
Mm.
I think what's hard for me, my challenge is, you and I are very similar in this way, is that I want to do it right. I just want to
Yeah.
do it right. And I'm like, well, if I'm sad and I'm exhausted and I don't like this, then clearly I'm not doing it right. But I am
Mm.
doing it right. Like that's part of the process. And every week is going to ebb and flow. But yeah, I just am feeling like really burnt out and kind of just like mournful as I'm like really reflecting on the ways in which I've held myself back and the ways
Mm.
in which I have not shown up for myself
Mm. Mm.
and the ways I've played the comparison game, and just really reflecting on that has been hard. And the
Yeah.
realization that it's been easier to just like keep plugging away. Again, I'm still not necessarily fulfilled in where I want to be, but it was easier to just be like, well, that's just how it is. That's just how it is,
Yeah.
than to like really sit down and go, is it how it is? Can we change this? Are you willing to do the work to change
Oof.
this? And like really asking myself some hard questions. And I will also say, class, we watched Obsession and we talked about it this week on the pod. At another time in my life, I would have left that movie and been like fucking 26-year-old writer director getting this fucking giant movie deal and blah, blah, blah. And like instead, I was like, wow, what a cool moment we're in right now. I hope that this, I mean, I have a little pessimism, but I'm like, I
Mm-hmm.
really hope that this opens other doors for people. And Shamika and I are working on a feature idea, and we have been news articles back and forth where it's like the YouTubers are taking over. And I was like, yo, maybe this is the moment, right? The thing that we talked about that Julia says in the book, no coincidences, right? Like
Yeah,
every day I
synchronicity.
just keep seeing these headlines that are like, I saw someone post, you know, we're not going to have the next A24. What we're going to have is a writer, director, performer who has spent years cultivating an audience that is ready to show up for them. And I sent that to Shamika and I was like, wow, like, yeah, I've spent 20 years building an audience and I've
Yes.
never given them a gift to be like,
Yeah.
here's a thing I made. I given you a podcast and a video and a reel and a whatever. And like they show up for those things, but
Right.
like to really give them like a piece of yourself, that's, Obsession was really fantastic, but like part of its success is he nurtured this audience that loved his short form. And then he goes, guess what? I made you a movie. I made
Yeah.
you a thing. And then they were like, oh my God, I've loved all these other things. I can't wait. And so, that realization I think was like helpful for me to be like, okay, maybe my brain chemistry is being rewired because the part-time shadow artist of my past self would have been like, well,
Ah.
you're not so great. Oh, well, everybody loves
Hmm.
this movie. It's so good, isn't it? Like, that's how I would have looked at it at another
Yeah.
time in my life. And now I'm seeing it more as like, wow, damn, he did the damn thing. I want to do the damn thing too.
Can I make a Delon offering? And that's
Sure.
just therein. I do with whatever that offering. I mean, it's going to be if it's a if it's a film or YouTube, whatever it is, whatever it happens to be, a show with Shamika or a feature that you write on your own or with Sham. Um, I think the piece of you that needs to be shared is like a vulnerable piece of you. Like you're funny and you're so brilliant, you're smart, you're a great writer, but I think there's like a vulnerable piece of Fran that you have to put in the work, and that I think that's gonna soar. The moment you can go,
Hmm.
I'm not just writing a thing over here, I'm writing a thing that has me in it, that has my
Yeah.
heart, my spirit, that I need to share in the world, and like that's therapeutic in some ways. Not saying it's
Hmm.
all therapy,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That's just an
No,
offering that I would make.
oh, that's so real. I mean, that's the feature that I've been like noodling on for like, I don't know, 2 years. I mean, I told you about this, that it
Yeah.
very much inspired by, I took my mom on this trip and it was like it was like my mom's 70th birthday and it was like this really healing journey for us. I had just gotten divorced and like, I think to your point about the vulnerability of it, I think that's why it's been so hard for me to write. But like I
Yeah.
start working on it and I'm like getting choked up as I like think about it because I'm like, oh, this is like really scary. This is really scary to tell people, to like share with people. And like, don't worry, class, like nothing bad happens.
Yeah.
It's just like um excavating like life choices and a lot of the stuff that I'm dealing with now, like as I'm getting older, like the
Mm.
getting older, like the mortality, the being like, oh, why did I do certain things, and like feeling like, am I running out of time, and like, is there still, can I still do certain things, or and also like mourning things in my life that I thought I was going to have, and just like the
Yeah.
realization of like, maybe I'll never have them, or maybe I will have them and they'll just look very different.
Yes.
And
Yes.
which is okay, but like clearly that's still like really hard, you know? And I do think
Yeah.
that that is something a lot of people can relate to, and like that is why I want to make the thing, but it's also like, man, when you go there, it's like, it's like when you fall for somebody and you're like, man, I'm afraid to really let myself like this person and let myself fall in love because I don't want to get hurt. I think that's
Yeah.
like a big part of like where I'm at. And I think you too, right? With this thing you've
Girl,
been
yeah.
working
I
on.
mean, you may not see the tears, but I'm crying. I feel you. I feel you on all of that. Because I want to do it so badly. I think my Achilles heel with my project is my skill level and being like, nobody wants to hear this kind of music. I've talked to you about this. I text Fran class and I was like, all of the songs are the same. Every song I've written is the same. And you know what I would say to you if you said that to me? And I would say, well, then you need to write that song.
Hasn't hurt Megan Trainor. Megan Trainor, but
Yes, it did. Blue Dot Fever. Wait, why did I just become Chris Rock?
okay, but it hasn't hurt her because guess what? The check still fucking clears.
Right.
You know what
She
I
can
mean?
afford
Like,
that Ozempic. Okay, I'll tell
it
you
might
what.
not be the song for us,
Right.
but like she took her ass to the studio and
Listen, your lips are moving. That was a jam. That was a jam. But yeah, I need to.
I ain't your mama.
I need to write that song, and what you said this earlier, and I've said this on the pod too. Like, I just doing it. You have to get it out. You have to get it out of the way.
Yeah.
You have to get it out of the way so that whatever is to come, be it attached to that project, meaning you editing it, but like get it out of the way so that you can then either look at that or figure out what else is coming, right?
Yeah.
If it's just growth, it might not be anything writing wise, you know? I'm doing this, I can't divulge what it is, but I'm doing this project in the spring, and I'm petrified. I'm so petrified. I'm so petrified that I was like, I have to back out of this. I shouldn't be saying this on this podcast. Oh my God. Who cares? Don't put this part in it. Please, whatever. I don't care.
I mean, I'll cut it. I'll cut it if you want.
Please,
Okay.
not please. I was just like, I have to back out of this. I have to back out of this. But then there was something that happened in the fucking pages where I was like, oh, I'm scared not because I don't think I can do it. I'm scared because I know that I can. Mm-hmm. And what does that mean on the other side of it, right? Mm-hmm. What does that mean for the dreams that I've let go? What does it mean for the potential that the potential that I haven't met because of my own fear, right? If I do this thing, if I do what I know I'm capable of, I'm not God's gift to acting or singing or anything, but I'm fucking good, man. I'm good at it, you know? And I know that it took so long to get here. I know I'm good at that. If you know you're good at it, why are you holding yourself back and being like, that's fearful? Run toward it. Work at it, you know? So I'm now going to do it. And if I fall on my face, I fall on my face. I'm not going to because I'm going to work at it. But I'm petrified. I'm scared as fuck, you know?
Yeah.
It's
well,
big.
Class, I cried 2 times this episode.
Listen, I'm here with you, holding all the space for it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, look, I knew it would happen. No regrets. Tell us in the comments, Class, did you do your morning pages every day this week? What was your artist date? What were your learnings? And what was your challenge as we go into week 5? My God.
And they're only 12, right? They're only 12.
Yeah, we're almost halfway.
I'm just to wrap up with, and we say this all, I'm really, really, really grateful that we're doing this. Thank you for suggesting a friend. Class, thank you for being with us on this journey. It is really changing. Clearly, it's changing our lives because of the way we're concentrating on it. But I'm really feeling the change. You know, when you go, hey, why are you doing that thing that you said you weren't going to do anymore? Now I go, oh, we're not doing that thing anymore.
Ooh.
I know you want to do that, but we're not doing that. So it's shifting and changing. So thank you, Class. Like Fran said, let us know how you're doing, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week. Bye.